G'day guys, welcome to Comics Etc. issue 14! How was that for you speakers?
Who are you?
How's everybody today?
Who are you?
James.
Yeah, I'm Remy still,
Yeah, how's it going?
unfortunately. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's another day,
Another day, another dollar? Yeah. If the sign says we're closed, we're not open till 12, it means we're not open till 12, people.
No.
It's not confusing.
Isn't it a trick of the trade? If you stand at the door and wait, that means we'll give in.
If you do these, doesn't mean we're just standing here doing nothing.
Or the knock.
Yeah, you're looking at the sign. Anyway, so today we're just going to be reviewing a bit more of the titles that came out this week. Normally this would be the show where we preview what's coming out next week, but there is nothing next week except for Dark Knight's Heavy Metal, and I have nothing good to say about it.
Is there much Marvel?
Nope, it's a Marvel skip week.
It's
a Marvel skip week, so that's why there's the only big title out is like Dark Knight's Metal. And there was nothing really from Image or Dark Horse or anything worth really talking about, so there's no preview show this week. But that's okay, we've got a couple of other extra cool shows lined up. And you're going to talk about some comics, because I talked all last episode, you did nothing.
Oh, okay, so thanks, man. After that awesome intro, thanks, James, I am going to talk about a title that a lot of people were excited for, and I believe it's... Oh, okay.
Wait, no, sorry, I'm going to interrupt. So I know you're all going, hey, where are those amazing graphics that James organises for the screen? So we couldn't find any amazing graphics for this because it was a digital comic first, and we can't find pictures of print pages and our scanner's broken.
And yeah, we're not scanning pictures at
No, because that's naughty. Don't pirate comics.
No. So yeah, before I was interrupted again because he doesn't talk enough, Batman: The Adventures Continue.
Oh wait, should we tell everyone why we're standing? Just quickly, because we still haven't found our stools. We've been asked for a stool update. No stools.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done now.
Just the word. The lighting is a lot better over here.
I think it's my skin. I'm using
No,
my face wash.
that's pathetic. Okay, so Batman Adventures Continue is, as anyone that's watched the animated adventures of Batman will be a huge fan of. Why are you laughing? I really don't like this. And we'll kick it off. It's a first issue, and it's, by the looks of things, they're going to be doing it almost like episodes. So the first issue is a story that's complete. They're rather quick, but they're a good read.
Okay,
I enjoyed it.
So,
I'll show you some of the art, because as James said, this is the only way.
So the reason I'm surprised at that is because these issues reprint 2 of the single issues of the digital comic. But you're telling me that whole comic is one story. So
Yep.
So in the digital one, they actually... Oh, that's saying... You should be reading it in the comics, not the digital version then.
So in this, it's pretty much a robot is causing havoc in Gotham, and we find out who's controlling the robot.
Is it Short Circuit?
No, and it's not Wally, so don't even go there. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Lex Luthor is in it. There's other characters I don't want to say.
No,
who.
spoil it, because people could have read... If they wanted to read it, they could.
So Superman's in it for a brief period, and the big reveal at the end is that Deathstroke is coming to Gotham.
Oh, really?
Returning to Gotham. But yeah, the art is super cool. It's done by Ty Templeton, and Paul Dini wrote the story as well.
Also the creator of the Batman animated show.
Yep, and that was with also Alan Burnett. But yeah, really good stuff.
You know how yesterday I talked about how I read a lot of Batman? Deathstroke's in a lot of Batman.
Yeah, I saw that, because you had that in
That's weird.
Which one was just...
Both Secret Files, Batman 92.
Yeah, the normal Batman. Maybe he's... Because he doesn't have a comic at the moment, does he?
No.
Well, maybe that's why,
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone that's into the animated show, definitely get it. The art is awesome.
So if it finishes on a cliffhanger, does that mean that it's going to feel like an ongoing series?
Yeah, so the main story of what the robot finishes, but then at the last page, they show... Death, and they say, next, Deathstroke comes to Gotham. So yeah.
What would you rate it as?
Oh,
I forgot to review the rating.
You did, but you were all over the shop, and you had a lot of things, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, true.
Look, strong start, definitely building a foundation. I would give it...
At a Jocks.
Well, no, he didn't do it.
Oh.
We have to figure out something.
No, it's gonna be something different. How about of VHS cassettes? Because it's from the 90s.
Yeah, I'd give it 4 out of 5 VHS
right.
cassettes. It was a good story, it wrapped up, but it left me wanting to read the next one.
Cool.
Is there a number in these, or is it ongoing?
No, I think it's ongoing.
Okay.
The pre-sales here at Comics Etc. for them were higher than any of the other Batman titles out this week.
Well, there was some nice covers too.
Yeah.
There was one variant and then a blank.
No, see, I didn't like the variant because the variant didn't really have an animated tone to it.
But the blank was cool because it wasn't just your white.
No, you talk.
Yeah, I believe we do. I could be wrong. It'll be under there.
No, we don't.
No, so that's sold out. So yeah, anyone that's into the Batman animated series, definitely pick it up. You won't be disappointed. Now this, finally, we're moving on to something other. Oh no, we have pictures for this too. So
Oh yeah, we do. Sorry, hang on. And I click this button here, and then I click. Oh, did I get this right? Yay!
One day you should actually put a picture that's not supposed to go up. That would be funny.
It will happen.
Adventureman. Now,
I'm curious about this one because why it's called Adventureman when it's.
Well, let me speak, sir. I actually didn't get to the very end of this because I'm kind of glad too because I.
Long read was it?
It actually is.
32 pages, a bit much for you there, dearie.
No, life gets in the way. It's well, I'm glad I didn't because I really want to keep reading because it's very good. So this one it's very interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes. So when it first starts off, it's just straight into the action.
Yep.
There's a town. I'll show this because apparently we can't show big 2-page spreads. The art is awesome. And it's the Dodsons.
Yeah, Dodsons.
Not
Terry and Rachel.
It's not a spin-off of The Simpsons.
Married couple. Never divorced, please. You're a great team together.
So yeah, the art is fantastic. And yeah, there's a town that's getting bombed. And that's how it starts. And there's a guy that calls, he looks like a commissioner of sorts. He calls for a team. And the team seem to be just a bunch, they're called Adventureman. It's one guy.
Oh, the team's called Adventureman.
Yeah, well, there's one guy, but he has, as this again can't show in the thing, there's an introduction, and I really like how they did this. They introduce all the characters, so it's like a team. It's very, like, almost like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so, and in the
wait, I
beginning...
can show a picture of the internal artwork.
No, there's another one after that too. So,
Who's that guy?
he's the villain,
Oh.
but there's the twist. So first off, when they start, he gives them this serum that gives them like...
Serum or serum?
Serum, whatever. You knew what I meant. Yeah, it causes, like, it's like gives them boost their physical fitness.
Boost or burst?
Shut
Shut
up
up now.
I hate you. And yeah, it's interesting because each character has their own skill.
Yeah.
And they all go in and try and take down... So yeah, and even the villains have an introduction page. So I like how it was set out like that. It's really like cool. It's got like almost a steampunk / pirate vibe.
So that's definitely steampunk right there.
Yeah, I said that. And it's just, I don't know, it's not like anything I've read before, to be honest. And so what's interesting is they show this whole fight with the villains, but then what gets weird is that it's a kid that's reading a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the book is called Adventureman.
Oh, right.
And then they start introducing the family, and then it gets really
I'm
weird.
actually excited to read this book.
Oh no, it's very good. Like I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's a big issue for a first issue. Like it's
Get on the
definitely.
screen.
Hey?
Is Frank just stamping me or something?
Well, because you annoy me so much that you'll do something and annoy me again. But yeah, I'd never heard of this before.
There you go. Sorry, I just had to move the keyboard. That looks sus, but no, the keyboard. See, I have to move.
And you're not touching me.
The keyboard, I promise.
But yeah, I'd never heard of anything about this. And it's Matt Fraction that wrote it. So
I'm 100% going to give this a read after we finish.
No, you should. Anyone that's into Indiana Jones, like I said, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, anything, that's got that mission sort of vibe.
Yeah.
And steampunk, the art definitely sells it. But yeah, it was a good read.
Alright, I'm going to review. Birds of Prey. This is the J. Scott Campbell cover. I didn't read this version.
It's a one-shot, isn't it?
Yeah, so backstory about this one here. This one, isn't it? That is it. This was actually announced way back in October.
The statues up there.
Yeah, pretty good. This was announced all the way back in October or something, or September even last year. It was going to be an ongoing series. It
That's
then
what I
got
thought.
changed to a 2-part prestige one-shot so they were going to bring out. They delayed it again and made it just this one-shot.
So that other Harley Quinn Black Label one,
Mm-hmm.
is that still going?
Yes.
So the
As a 3-issue.
yeah, because that was with Birds of Prey, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is, first of all, this is a Black Label comic. It's a comic. It's a Black Label comic, and you can tell it is. And I wonder if that's why one of the reasons it was cancelled from the ongoing to like a mini-series to this, because I don't think DC felt right keeping it up, because this is gory and there is swearing.
Ooh.
And I actually found it really refreshing as an adult who reads comics to have adult themes in the comic.
Which was the whole point of
Like,
Black Label.
look at that.
Wasn't that the whole point?
Yeah, like, okay, comic books, if you're listening.
Wait, the comic books have to
Yeah,
listen?
comic books is a
Okay.
medium, if you're listening. Adults read you, and your movies are a lot more adult than your actual content in comics at the moment, so maybe adult-fy it a little bit more? Is that the word I'm looking for? No, I made it up. But this was really good.
Oh, yeah, I get you. Adultified?
Adultified, yeah.
We come up with...
So basically, if you were a comic and you're listening, we want you to OnlyFans it. So, basically, one of Black Canary's exes dies, and it turns out there's a Mexican cartel of some sort that is killing people. In an unrelated series of events, the Birds of Prey, which is Harley Quinn, bing, Huntress, and that's Black Canary again, and Renee Montoya have to team up in order to find out what's going on. It actually feels, when I read it, that it definitely was made for more of an ongoing series, and I'm glad they didn't in one way, because the dialogue and the story is quite loose and fast, and if we were to read this in single issues like it was originally intended, you would have read this, whatever the first issue would have been, in about 2.5 seconds.
It's just the way you like it.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like to get my money's worth.
Right.
So, I now feel, having read the entirety of this one here, that I did get my money's worth, because it's a bit of an expensive one. It's $10 US, so $17.50 here in good old Australia.
But it's that prestige.
It's thick. It's like, honestly, it feels like a trade paperback. I kind of would have rathered if they brought it out as a trade paperback format instead of the one shot. If they gave it like a hardcover or something like that, because at the end of the day, there's no difference between this and actually there's zero difference between this and a Earth One book.
No.
Just the way it was printed up.
So, you don't feel like they rushed it at the end? Like,
No.
it doesn't feel at a point where you're like, oh, they definitely
You can
just
feel
went,
the-
no, let's finish
No,
it.
you can feel the reason they delayed it is because they wanted to make sure it had a proper ending. But on one hand, the start feels it's a weirdly paced comic, because it is definitely starts off as an ongoing and ends as if they meant it to end this one here.
So how many eagles out of 5?
Well, first of all, the art it's by Brian Azzarello, who you guys know Brian Azzarello. He's a very adult
yeah, he's
DC
a mate
creator.
of ours. Yeah.
He's Brian, if you're watching.
I
And
didn't
the
think
art-
he did the art.
Look,
you said
I
art. by
I
him.
wasn't the artwork kind of.
Yeah, show me. I hadn't looked.
I wasn't a great fan. And I'm not going to try to say the name because Remy's about to try.
Emanuela Lupacino.
I'm so sorry, Emmanuel Lupacino. Actually, I think you got it spot on. I wasn't a big fan of the artwork. But
It's
I
not
give this.
bad. It's just.
It's very plain.
Yeah, it's straight to the point.
It's straight to the point.
So
And-
we're not having to go at you, Emmanuel.
No, it's just. I feel when you have a Black Label title, the artwork is a bit more complex.
It's very, yeah, it's well done.
It's well
But
done.
yeah, I
But,
get
yeah.
you.
Okay, I'll give it out of decapitated heads. I'll definitely give this 4
No.
out of 5 decapitated
It
heads.
should have been eagles because it's a bird of prey.
Mine's better. There's a decapitated head on the screen.
Cool. One
Where's there an
activity.
eagle? A bird.
Oh, now you get it.
I get it.
Connect the dots, Durbrain.
Coins dropped. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for this one. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it.
Was expecting lower, but
Really?
well,
No,
the way you were
good.
talking about it.
Okay, so here's the other thing. Reason why a good review for it is that I read this after I read like
stacks of
six Batman, and I still liked it. I wasn't bored of it.
On racks.
So that's it. That's it for today's show. Subscribe and like and all that jazz, and we'll be back maybe tomorrow with a preview of the slow shipment that we just got into Comics
Some
Etc.
good stuff.
So if you are a customer of ours, you'll love that show. If you're not a customer of ours, what are you doing?
Well, still watch.
No, but watch. But buy from us. Like,
Yeah.
buy from Amazon. Have you seen
Like.
how expensive they are?
Remember to like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen how expensive Amazon is now?
It's
It's a joke.
Not really.
So buy it from us, and we'll do a preview show of what's coming in. And that's it. And goodbye. And like and subscribe. And
Cut!
cut.